Welcome to another Dead End Hip Hop album review. Due to scheduling conflicts and also trying to create more content for the channel, we're gonna start branching off, but the crew is still gonna do all of the major releases as a full crew. If you love Dizzy, you wanna support, make sure you use the download link right here and buy the album. Your boy got it. I know I support. Do you support? You want to buy the album? Make sure you use that download link right here. You got it from Dead End Hip Hop, man.
We appreciate what we're doing, man, and a lot of you hit us up, you know, stating that you do. Fan funding, man. Support, you know. It's fan funding or fan funding. You know, I know
fan funding.
It really helps out a lot, you know, in terms of us being able to bring high quality content and work to you guys. Yeah, content period. Dizzy Wright is a rapper out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but he was born in Flint, B. But yeah, man, he's been around for a while, and you know, he's really started to enjoy success when he signed with Funk Volume, and one of the albums, mixtapes that we reviewed was The Golden Age. So he has 2 studio albums, Smoked Out Conversations, including this one, which is The Growing Process, 3 EPs, The First Agreement, State of Mind, Lost in Reality with Mark Battles, and then like a gang of mixtapes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like a lot of mixtapes. The one we did was The Golden Age. You guys can go check that out. He also did one with Bishop Naru. I know a lot of you guys feeling that. The Brilliant Youth EP. So he's been around for a while, since 2010. So here he is now with The Growing Process, which is his 2nd studio album. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think about listening to it from Dizzy?
You know, I thought it was an interesting title, you know, The Growing Process. But when I listened to it, I'm like, has he really grown? Because that's not what I necessarily got from it. I think he definitely touched on it on a couple tracks, like daddy-daughter relationship. So you hear some of his growth in his music. So I'm not saying that overall, but I've always felt that Dizzy was positive. Dizzy was always about people and bringing, you know, unity amongst young, old, you know, and being a smoker, you know, he always promotes that. So, you know, kind of in the likes of Bob Marley, you know, he always promoted peace, positivity, growth, and I think he does that a lot on this project. And I was pleasantly surprised for him to bring out Layzie Bone and Krazyie Bone.
Yeah, that caught me. I didn't expect that either.
Regardless with Layzie Bone, I felt like Layzie could have brought a little bit more. For being gone for so long, at least for me, like I'm not checking out his new stuff like that, you know, I felt like he could have came a little bit harder, but I enjoyed the track though. I definitely enjoyed the track, and I love when the younger artists are now bringing out some of the legends in hip hop, you know. And I felt like overall on this project though, it was kind of, the first half was a lot about positivity and talking to the youth, and then after Floyd Money Mayweather, then he got into his smoking stuff. And then like toward the end, that's when I heard more so of his positive growth as a man. You know what I'm saying? But that track, God Bless America with K.R.I.T and Tech 9.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I did like that one. It was a good follow for the intro too.
It was.
So I looked at the album cover, right? And the album cover is just Dizzy with a black backdrop in the background. So it's just him solo. Like you get him. So you take that, you take the title of The Growing Process, you kind of put that together, and then you take the content and you listen to it and you're like, okay, so this is kind of him putting himself out there. And there was another project, he said something that I thought was interesting. He said, I picked up the yoga, put down the soda. And that, I don't know if that was on, I can't remember what project that was on, but it was a line that stood out to me because it kind of shows some level of maturity for Dizzy. Like he's really trying to get into this mode where, you know, he's taking care of himself physically and mentally. And that's kind of what I picked up from this project. And you look at the EP that he put out, State of Mind. And then also, which I didn't pick up, was the hashtag on this one, The Second Agreement, which means this is like an extension from the first EP that he put out, The First Agreement. So you're right, Dizzy has always put out positive content, and he got a label of being a weed rapper. Smoked Out Conversations, Free Smoked Out Conversations. You know, that's kind of when he kind of took a turn and did some of that. There are songs like that on this EP, and it's kind of like when you were talking about like it kind of shifted. But I think that was Dizzy trying to provide balance on it, so it's not as heavy, you know, throughout the whole listening.
And I think that the way that he introduces it, I find it, I'm good with it, because like that song he has, I Can Tell You Needed It, featuring Burner. Like, I really like that song because like the intro to it, he has Burner talking about, you know, he's flying into town, yada yada, I picked up some ooh wee, I got you. Then Dizzy raps about, you know what I'm saying, just relaxing and letting that like kind of be a reset button for all of the stress and shit that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a coping mechanism. Dizzy always raps about weed in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I like about when he does it, because it's not just like, oh, smoke it, this, that, whatever. It's like, yo, just calm down, relax, enjoy yourself, think things through clearly, and use your third eye. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always talking about his third eye shit.
He had Higher Learning the intro, where he's really just coming in, he's setting the tone for the album, kind of getting some things off his chest. Then it hit God Bless America, Create Tech 9, and then it Can I Feel This Way. So right when it hit that third track, I'm like, okay, this is kind of real mellow, kind of dragging. Like, is he going to keep this same tone? And then he switched it up, and that's when they hit us with No Time Is Better, which is a nice way to kind of break the momentum, the mood of the album a little bit, because you know, if he would have continued to kind of would have dragged and heard the phenom, you know, he did his thing, man. So it was kind of more of a positive mid-tempo, upbeat track. And then he kind of went back into Train Your Mind, and I'm 100% behind you with Regardless with Layzie Bone, because when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, Layzie Bone on here, but it felt like lackluster. Like I didn't get what I wanted.
Exactly.
And that's just me, but well, apparently you too. But I'm like, that's not what I wanted from Layzie, and you know, maybe that's not how they wanted to do the track. I'm not there. I don't know, you know, what they envisioned for it, but for me, when I perceived it. It didn't hit.
But what about the one with Krazyie Bone right after?
That shit hit.
That shit hit.
To me, you got it right with Krazyie Bone. What happened with Layzie?
Exactly.
You know, so I was a little bit torn with that one. The one Smoke You Out with Mod Sun, I thought that was a good one too as well, because it kind of got into the whole the smoking thing. But you know, it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't a lot. And again, I think it was just something to kind of, you know, not make the album feel as heavy. So overall, man, I gotta say that I think that this was some of Dizzy's best work.
I agree. But how are we gonna skip Floyd Money Mayweather though? Because I felt like that was the one track on here that was completely different from everything else. It was like the one turn-up track.
Break it down for me. I don't really remember that
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Oh.
And that's the reason why I liked it, because it stood out. And you know, whenever you're repping where you're from, you typically talk about, you know, athletes and stuff. Who does Las Vegas really have?
True.
Floyd Money Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? So, and him growing up there, I'm like, that's dope. And then like you said, he's also from Flint. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was like a real cool like turn up track that he's also paying homage to, obviously a legend in that city.
See, I don't think I was necessarily really feeling that one. I think that's when the album was shifting a little bit. And like you said, it was his turn-up song. So, you know, for me, I kind of understood his purpose and placement, even though I necessarily wasn't 100% behind the track like you were. I couldn't do it. I don't think it's bad enough to the point where I have to skip it. You know, I think I can tolerate it, but
I fuck with that. You know me, man. I love playing that shit. Like, I love tracks like that. So, like, In the Whip, like that, to me, that's an In the Whip song. And he has
fans that like stuff like that. And
you know, did you listen to State of Mind EP?
Yeah.
So like he had like two turn up songs on that. So like, and that's the other thing, man. Like Dizzy doesn't just stick to one type of production, you know what I'm saying? Like he can do that and he does it well. Then he can do like a mellow kind of the song he did with Krazyie Bone, you know what I'm saying? Like so that's the thing I love about Dizzy, is that he has versatility. And I think beat selection wise, this was probably, it wasn't that versatile, as versatile as some of his other projects, like Golden Age. Like that was one of the reasons why I really love Golden Age, because Dizzy really gave you a nice mix of different production. While this wasn't all the same, it had really a lot of the same feel throughout, you know what I'm saying? But it was good overall, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely bumps in the whip for me.
I like it, man. I think that's one of the reasons why I felt I really wanted to kind of talk about it, because it wasn't really what I expected when I put it on to listen to it. You know, I've listened to some of his other stuff, and I've seen how he's grown, you know, as an artist, you know, which goes back to the title. So, you know, but he did that over short periods, like stints, like with EPs. How was he going to do that with a full project? And I think, you know, overall he managed to execute and pull it off. Like, there was still a couple of songs here and there that, you know, that I necessarily didn't mess with, but I don't think it's to the point where it'll ruin the album. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that I can definitely recommend to people. I think the title fits. So, you know, this is definitely a quality work from Dizzy Wright, from, you know, when he put out the Golden Age to now. Actually, even going back to the Smoked Out Conversations and stuff like that. So what was his, I think his first rapper name was Dizzy K Flashy. When he used to rap over like a lot of other people's beats. Again, positive content and stuff like that, but you know, over time we've seen him grow and mature, and I gotta really give Funk Volume some credit for that. I think they've done a good job of kind of you know, nurturing him and artist development.
Yeah, their whole roster. The whole roster, I could definitely give them credit for that.
Yeah, especially from where he was. I think they kind of polished him up a little bit. So, so overall, man, this is definitely a good project. I encourage people, like, if you love the Golden Age and all this other stuff, go pick it up. I can definitely see your growth over the period of time since you started dropping the EPs, from the First Agreement to State of Mind to now. You definitely have some versatility there, and on this album you definitely showed it in spots with, you know, your more serious content, to the turn up track for the people that love that stuff from you, to even the Smoked Out stuff, which Feefo pointed out, you know, is done in a positive way, to just the daddy-daughter relationship. Like, I didn't even get a chance to speak on that, but real quick, I love that song, and I love that you put that on there, because, you know, oftentimes, you know, in today's world, there's this stigma that dads, black fathers, don't take care of their kids, and for you to put that on there and to share that moment with the world and with your fans, you know, there could be some kid or some young guy listening to that, you know, that would feel motivated to do the same from same with his kid. So I think that was good, and it also kind of humanized you a little bit. You shared a little bit of you know, your world with the fans, and you know, people really respect that. So I thought it was a very touching song, and you know, and as a father myself, I definitely appreciate that. But more importantly, I just appreciate you sharing that with the world, because I think that to do that, I think it's important, because I think people need to hear that and know that black fathers do take care of their damn kids. So anyway.
You know, I'm a fan, homie. I've been a fan for a little while, and this album just, you know, further solidifies that for me. You know, for me, this album is definitely in the rotation. It definitely bumps in the whip. That, like, yo, like, and that's the thing I love. You know, and I love positive artists. Everything doesn't always have to be negative. Everything doesn't always have to be about the trap. Everything doesn't always have to be about all that. Sometimes, you know, it can be heartfelt, and that's one thing with Dizzy that I always get. So that's the thing I love. And I know the guys always make fun of me. I always say, keep doing what you're doing, but a lot of times we review some of my favorite artists, and a lot of you are putting out great quality work. So there's really isn't much for me to say outside of continue to do great quality work, because, you know, for as long as I do this, I'm gonna big that up, and I'm gonna tell everybody to check this project out, because it's dope and it needs to be spread. So I'm just doing my part. So keep doing great music, and I'm gonna keep doing my part to tell everybody to check it out.